mandatory collation of results from the IRF portal. That's right. As opposed to having vice chancellors going from states all the way to Abuja just to collect results. We need to fix our electoral system. We need to restore manufacturing. We need to boost manufacturing in the country so that Nigeria can become an exporting nation. Less dependent on imports. One more thing. We need to secure the north. We need to secure the north.
No Nigeria, no Nigeria.
So food security in Nigeria. So we must must ensure that the north is secure.
They are not here for political reasons.
Are able to go back to the farm to drive down the cost of food. Yes. It is important that we fix the economy. It is important that we fix the electoral system. It is important that we fix the educational system. It is important that we change and finally take our rightful place as the greatest black nation on the surface of the earth. Greatest Nigeria!
Abu muke so ka gane shi ne muna jin yunwa gaskiya ne ba ma jin daɗi gaskiya ne daga Sokoto zuwa Kano zuwa Jigawa ko yana shan wahala gaskiya ne gaskiya muna so mu ji ma ka jara yawa in ba ka jara ba gaskiya ba za mu ji daɗi da kai ko ma Allah da kansa ma yana ji haushi da kai gaskiya ne mu muna ji ma muna jin haushi gashi ana ta kashe mu ana ta kashe mu ana ta kashe mu banza da muka maka me yasa ba za ka duba ba ka nemo mana abu za ka yi ka nemo mana security ka nemo mana 'yan sanda 'yan sojoji su kori 'yan boko haram sai su kashe mu ne sai su kashe mutane ba sa zuwa mutane ba sa zuwa gona suna tsoro yunwa ya kama ku in ka je cikin bici za ka gani ana jin yunwa kowa yana yi yunwa ana mutuwan yunwa kana so ka kashe mu ne kana so ka kashe mu ne ai jara ai mana jara mu ba ma so mu muka zabe ka kuma sai kai namu sai kai namu ne kuma abu na ke son gyama in da ba kai namu ba mun kore ka don kwarka mun kore ka gaskiya ne wannan magana mu muna gyama gaskiya ne magana gaskiya ne always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. They said they cannot win with any longer. Nigeria is dead. Nigeria is dead. We must arise this country. This country must arise. God is the father of the nation and not the father of respective states to arise. We are no longer surviving. We are in a troubled time, serious troubled time, serious trouble. The father walking in a comfortable in my house. What about other children? What about other members of the family? There's no equity in Nigeria. There's nothing like equity, no justice, no fairness. We are treated like animals. Nigeria has now converted to a jungle. We are in a zoo. We are not in the country, and that's why we're making this strong, passionate appeal to all the respective government, from the presidency down to all the states, to all the National Assembly, to all the House of Assembly of Legislature. They must arise to this. We can no longer wait. Enough is enough of a process. We all taught English. Thank you very much.
We should not accept or allow any politician to to manipulate our mindset to do what we know is against the law. The government cannot disenfranchise us from attaining our civil rights, but let us be mindful of how we do it, because your motive is different from others. A lot of them are somewhere, they just want the country to be more populated than this, so that they will start perpetrating evil, and we don't want that. We suffered a lot. The majority of Lagos State property were destroyed, even during the NSAS. Forensic hospital was burnt down, TVC was burnt down. That was why even autopsy, the only autopsy hospital that is in Nigeria is in Lagos State. They burnt down. When Mohbad died, the very took result of the United States of America.
Let me just try and look. So good morning. Now, what movement are you representing?
We are marching for the better Nigeria. We are hungry. Hunger is everywhere. High price of things. You know, common Gary is living salmon because it's made in Nigeria. Our government cannot regulate the price. Imagine buying Gary 1 pence at the rate of 800 before. Now Gary is 4,000. Imagine Gary has been. I don't know if Gary has become dollar or
how has the economic crisis? How has it affected you?
Yeah, it really affects me. You know why? Because those who were receiving 30K as salary and they were managing. Now imagine the price of things that have tripled. Then you hold 20K. You want to buy food stuff, and that 20K you cannot even buy things that will take you for 1 week. So how will you manage to cope? How will you manage to work?
With the current economic crisis, the issue on ground is not able to sustain the Nigerian citizen.
In fact, people are dying of silence. They are dying of silence. So it's better to die while speaking than to die in silence and you just die and you die silent.
Thank you so much. So you want the government to address this?
We want the government to regulate the price of things, bring the price of things down. Number one is fuel is the problem, because once the fuel price goes up, every other thing goes up. They import, they transport Gary, they transport oil, they transport rice, they transport other things. When the transportation is high, how do you expect people who are now selling not to increase the price of things? So when the fuel price is down and the transportation price is down, and people will be able to transport their goods from one state to another, that's where the price of things will go to normal. And that's where the common Nigerians will be able to earn a good living. To live in a country, actually, we are in this country together. We love Nigeria. Yeah. We love Nigeria. Nigeria is our country. We cannot yakpa.
Thank you. He said he cannot jakpa. That is the accolade. That is what a real Nigerian, a true Nigerian would say. That despite everything that is happening, they remain democratic, which is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. So I also have a placard here. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Let me just. Okay. Why are you here to demonstrate?
Why am I here? Say you are not reading all the flyer that I'm showing you. End bad. Say I'm really have an end bad government. I see me so now. I never chop. Tuesday, Monday, today now, Thursday. I don't protest. I never chop. Tinubu, if you don't come out, I don't send that baba again. I see me so. Your father, street.
Yes. So yes. So we have this placard: reverse fee hike in public tertiary institutions. So lately, we know that there is an increment in several tertiary institutions based on the thing that is happening in the country. So this placard is reading that the government should reverse fee hike in public tertiary institutions. We also have this placard: scrap the Senate revolution now. Scrap the revolution now. Okay, we also have another placard here. It says that the hunger is too much. The hunger is too much. So this citizen is saying that the hunger is too much. Good morning, sir. Can we get to meet you? All right, so that is that. We also have different people marching, yes, for the peaceful protest. So far, there is no loss recorded. We have no harm recorded at the moment, and so it has been peaceful so far. We have not heard any gunshots. There have been security personnel around all through this area, and we have different places. So we've been marching all the way from Ikeja under bridge, and now we are Kalausa. We are heading towards the Ojota Park. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear me, or do you have any question? All right. So, like I mentioned earlier, that today's protest is the End Bad Governance protest. The previous one was hunger. It was start hunger protest. That was the one that VOPTV was able to report live. We were able to report that when it was hunger protest. But this one is End Bad Governance protest. And like I mentioned earlier, a coalition of civil society organizations, radicalists and socialist groups, they are all here to demonstrate and lend in their voice to the government. And like, okay, this suffering, can you please raise your placard? Yes, this suffering is too much. This suffering is too much. That is what this placard, this one is, we are hungry.
I want that.
This one is, all right.
Nobody gonna talk. We are gonna talk.
So can you tell us how the economic hardship have affected you?
The economy has affected me so very bad. In the extent that I cannot stop, I cannot clothe, I can't pay for house rent, no work, no nothing. Every day, 150, 200, 150, 500, 300. We don't have. Look at the other 1,000 naira. How much is 1,000 naira? Look at the yours is 500. Just do business. Look at the 1,000 naira. Take the 1,000 naira.
Okay. So you have this placard.
Yes.
You have this placard. We are hungry, and the suffering is more. Please save our generation. So how do you think the government can save the upcoming generation?
The next generation has already been saved. They are just collaboration.
So you have eradication of hunger and poverty. Can you tell me how hunger and poverty have affected you as a Nigerian?
As I am at this time, let me tell you, number one reason since morning I have never chopped. Ask me why. Ask me why.
Why?
Because no money, one, no work, two, I don't fit it. Three, I go back to chop. That is why I never chop.
Thank you so much. So we also have providing quality education and mentoring to youth. So how do you feel this will help Nigeria?
I don't want to lie. I tell you.
All right, so these are, like I said, it's just, yeah, we can see the coalition. Yeah, let me speak to this man. Good morning, how are you doing?
Yes, I'm
Yeah, can you tell me the motive behind the protest?
The motive behind this protest is to make sure that we make the government make
End bad governance. That is what is literally making the airwaves around Nigeria. Hunger strike is what Nigerians are literally talking about. A lot of things happening regarding this particular protest. It's the 1st of August 2024. And what we're really seeing is that Nigerians are literally talking about solidarity forever. That is the statement making the airwaves across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, this is still the voice of the people. My name is Frank Fagbo, and we've got David on my left and Fina, the amazing Fina on my right. What is really happening on the 1st of August?
The thing that's happening in Nigeria on the 1st of August is the hashtag End Bad Governance. And that is actually Nigerians lending their voice to not even government to hear us about the fact that there's a new lexicon on the mouth of all Nigerians now, untold hardship, multi-dimensional poverty. That's the word. And then when you check average Nigerians, find out that there's nothing like poor Nigeria now anymore. The poor have become the poorest of the poor. Imagine. And this is a country that, we have everything we think we need. But every day we wake up every day on the front bodies of the national dailies is that here the cabals are these, the cabals are that. Dele Aleke, the Minister of Interior, told us that $9 billion is what we lose every year in Nigeria to illegal miners. And yet to have Nigerians talking about hunger. Imagine, and these are a selected few, you know, enjoying these things, and Nigerians are not even seeing it at all. And then we keep on borrowing. That's another part again. Let's assume that we borrow money and they will see the impact of this money in Nigeria. Nobody will be talking about hashtag and bad governance, because we'll see that this is what the government is doing with the money.
Situation progresses. Thank you so much.
The World Bank actually mapped out $1.5 billion. It's a loan that is supposed to give to Nigeria. Nigerian government have actually gotten
so we'll keep updated on how the situation unfolds.
Of this particular billions of dollars we're talking about now. And yet, we don't even know what this money is being used for. Today we hear this, tomorrow we hear a different thing. And not just that, also, we have a 27.5 trillion as our budget for 2023.
Yeah.
And then we have a supplementary budget again that was 6.2 trillion naira. Additional. We have not even seen how we use this first budget. And then no one actually is being called to book. No one is saying anything about that. As a matter of fact, the Fiscal Responsibility Act here in Nigeria is being violated by the present administration. And yet no one is talking about it. But the National Assembly has gone ahead to say we have to approve the supplementary budget of 6.2 trillion.
Are you sure no one is talking about it? We have millions of Nigerians.
We don't have anything
millions of Nigerians on the streets right now. They are literally talking about it.
We're talking about...
They're talking about the fiscal irresponsibility of government. They're talking about trying to make sure they end bad governance. They're talking about hunger day.
So why is it that no one is in the prison?
The slogan has even been converted from a Miloko to a Bing Power. That's what Nigerians are talking about.
It's quite interesting, really. Well, first of all, thank you for having us on the business hour. But then it's on every front. Looking at it from the security, looking at it from agriculture, looking at it from fuel subsidy. In fact, the End Bad Governance protest is pegged on 15 agenda.
Yeah, a 15-point agenda.
One of which is reversal of the policies that have been made by this government.
Very true.
Which, of course, we're going to start it off from the fuel subsidy.
Okay.
Now, that alone is one that can happen in a snap of a finger.
Exactly.
And then the question now would be, why is the present administration not even making efforts to wanting to change these policies and helping alleviate the poverty ratio of Nigerians? I mean, right here in front of me, the Daily Post, the governor of Kano State did say that he is not being respected by the security operatives. In fact, he said, I'm frustrated, police not obeying my orders. Now, that's the level of security that we have in Nigeria. Yet,
does that have a political undertone?
The administration of this present president, I'm talking about President Bola Tinubu, has given a vote of confidence on all of his security chiefs.
Exactly.
This and more are what Nigerians are clamoring for. And I think it is not a rocket science to say that Nigerians know that the country is blessed with so much human resources and mineral resources, but have not been tapped at all. Fina did mention of Dele Alake saying that there are
9 billion.
He said cabals. Yeah. You know, he said cabals are actually the ones again.
Even in the mining sector.
The mining, imagine.
Now, the mining sector alone, Nigeria can make, in approximate, the least billions of dollars if mined properly, and of course, revenues are generated and put in the coffers.
I think it would be interesting for us to hear from the people. Let us hear from one of our correspondents, Oyindamola. She's live on the streets of Lagos. Oyindamola.
She's in Ojota precisely.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Oyindamola.
So, Oyindamola.
Many things. All we're asking for is water, light, food, and good road network. That's all we're asking of. That's all we're asking of. Thank you. God bless you.
They say they are seen now.
Okay, so you've heard from from a Nigerian talking about food, water, light, and these are basic. These are basic essentials. I don't. It's not. They're not asking for luxury. They're asking for basic amenities. And this is 2024. So we shouldn't be seen protesting for food, protesting for shelter,
as a giant of Africa,
protesting for rising inflation that is currently at 40%. You know, food inflation.
Frank, I did mention
food is gradually becoming a luxury.
I like
one of my stories is that I'm telling you, it's becoming a luxury. It costs an average Nigerian now 20,000 naira to prepare your favorite jollof rice.
What is
and
now,
you love it.
Now someone now asks again, what's happened to be the minimum wage of Nigeria? How many people?
It's been signed into law.
I hope you know that Gombe state government just come up today to say they cannot pay the 70,000 naira minimum wage.
Only the FG can afford that.
Even the wage award of 35,000 have not been paid by some states.
Very true.
I hope you know that. And then we'll bring it back again. How many people? We have above 200 million Nigerians now working under the labor force. How many people are now out? Okay, let's put it this way. Over 200 million Nigerians are there.
Yeah.
5% are the political elites. We have, let's say, 30 or 33% now to be part of the labor force. We have other people now fending for themselves because there's no job in Nigeria. Let's put it that. Now, those people now, are they also benefiting from the 70,000 minimum wage? The answer is no. And these are the people that have SMEs, which the federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria have decided to make the MPR rate to be at 26.75%. Even if you want to go to the bank now to borrow money, how do you intend to pay back the rate? It is very high. And you know that that's the central bank own. What happened to when you get to commercial bank? That's just getting the loan and let's say 30%. How can you survive on such economic principles or policies?
But the government
20,000 is for the people who are actually plunging.
The government is saying that the reason for the rise in the interest rate, which is the MPR you talked about, is because they're trying to bring down inflation. Look at what inflation is. It's up not 33%, up not 33%, currently at 34%. And if you look at all this, you see that it's so difficult, and the government is trying to fight inflation from the monetary policy point of view. And that's why you see that you're seeing them increase the interest rate as high as
the government,
but it's not working. That is the problem.
We need to look at it.
It seems to not be working.
You say
because it's not being addressed from the market.
The government wants to, they are trying to do this. And on one other hand, their body language is saying something else. Farouk did say that Dangote Refinery has substandard products. That is
talking about
NMDPRA that does not have a lab. Now, why can't we support Dangote Refinery? The moment we support them, the much effects we can get from there.
That was an executive order.
So you said the
government should sell to
at what rate?
It has to be the global.
And I hope you also know, Frank. Frank, I hope you also know that
the oil sector, it's not a. It's not an NGO.
I hope you know, Frank, that I hope you know that all the oil
is the major source of revenue as long as Nigeria stands.
But I hope you know that oil in Nigeria is being sold in years.
Them to give it a subsidized rate.
Help us with an understanding of how much the NNPCL has generated and have shown Nigerians in the past decade.
Before you even look at that,
you don't even have access to their books.
That's the thing.
And yet you have Mele Kyari
as the
group GMD. This is now getting to a decade. He's still
on one part they are saying this is
what is happening.
On another part they are saying another thing. And that's the reason why the young people and of course some Nigerians have come out to say, look, at this point we're tired.
Talking about the Dangote Refinery and selling of crude.
A lot of persons have even said this hashtag end good governance is an undertone of toppling the government. No,
we're not. Nobody wants to topple the government.
Nigerians are actually asking for the barest minimum. It's not necessarily politically motivated. It's just the basics. Nigerians are finding it difficult to eat.
Exactly.
And once hunger comes into the playing field, you're ready to risk it all. I don't know if you get my point.
Just saw the man on the street.
Once hunger gets to the playing field, you're ready to risk it all.
A hungry man is an
If you don't have clothes to wear, you can still survive.
Yeah, you can.
If you don't have shelter, you can still survive. You can find a place to. There's so many government infrastructure where you can just hide your head. But once you don't have food to eat, that it becomes the worst thing that can happen to any citizen of any country. An average Nigerian cannot afford a basic meal.
One of the protesters a few minutes ago did say, "I cannot steal."
Exactly.
And that is fundamentally heavy of a statement. If somebody cannot steal but wants to work and then there is no job, and the same person wants to eat,
and there's no food,
what is the required food? There's a required threshold, pain threshold that an average individual can take in. I don't know if you get. There's a required pain threshold. And once it passes that threshold, whatever you get from that individual will be definitely reaction. And Nigerians are reacting.
But look,
we've gotten to the end of the wall, and that's why you're seeing them requesting for the basics. So
everybody in Nigeria
and that's why I love us to necessarily take a look at what is happening on the streets of Lagos. We've got Matthew Ogunsuada also. Matthew Ogunsuada on the streets of Lagos. Anyway, when we have, we'll definitely have Matthew Ogunsuada very soon. Some technical glitch over there. But then, let us take a look at what is happening with inflation. 34%. 34%. That's the headline inflation. Food inflation, 40%. And this is against the backdrop of the minimum wage. Minimum wage has been increased to 70%, 70,000. And Nigerians are saying that, even the core members are saying that what they used to earn, which was 19,800, before it increased to 30,000, the 19,800 has more economic value than the 70,000.
You're speaking English. Let's break it down. 19,800 can buy us 2 bags of rice.
2 bags of rice it can buy us. 19,000. It can buy 2 bags of rice.
Yes.
But right now, the 70,000
can't even buy a bag.
Can't buy a bag.
Let alone the condiments.
Look at the contrast.
You know, interestingly, I drug up a tiny little start, and some people are still finding it difficult to come to terms with this whole movement. Now, under Goodluck Jonathan, 18,000 naira. Okay, we understand. Frank is. I beg your pardon.
Matthew is with us right now.
Alright, so he's trying to be security conscious. That's Taiwo. We have this placard here. Have this placard here. Let the problem breathe. Good morning, man. Can we get to you, man? Thank you so much. So, ma, can you tell us the rationale behind the protest? All right, thank you so much. So, like, we are still here, and this is the Ojota. We are almost heading to Ojota. I don't know if my cameraman can show right there. That is the Ojota Park. Yeah, that's the Ojota bus stop. And then within a few minutes, we'll be heading there in just a jiffy. We have a stakeholder here that would like to talk to us.
Ìdí tí àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà fi ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ mìíràn ò ní wípé gbogbo àwọn ètò tí ìjọba gbé kalẹ̀ pátápátá ló ní àwọn ará ìlú dára. Láti orí wípé wọ́n yọ sọ́bsídì kúrò nínú epo rọ̀bì tí à ń lò. Sọ́bsídì tí wọ́n sọ pé àwọn yọ yìí ó jẹ́ kí owó epo rọ̀bì ó lọ ní ìlọ́po bíi mẹ́rin, about 400% increase. Ọ̀rọ̀ dẹ̀ jẹ́ wípé epo yìí náà ni gbogbo wa ń lò. Hairdresser, gẹ̀rígẹ̀rí, ìyá tó ń ta pure water, epo yìí náà ni gbogbo wa ń lò. Ó tún wá jẹ́ kí owó tí à ń ra gbogbo àwọn ọlọ́pàá yóò lọ sókè. Ara ti ní àwọn ará ìlú tù. Ó tún ṣe náà ó sọ wípé owó dọ́là ìfíṣe owó padà láti náírà sí dọ́là. Ẹ̀kú yọ wípé ìjọba ò ní ìfọ̀kànṣe ìpínlẹ̀ mi. Owó dọ́là wa lọ láti orí 450 náírà lọ sí 1,600. Ní ìlú tó jẹ́jẹ́ ṣe kò tí à ń lè pátá àti òkè òkú wọn ti kó owó dọ́là náà ní rírà. Ìrírí ti pọ̀ jù. Ẹ̀kú tó wọ́n wọ ìlú ẹ̀kú tó lọ sí òkè. Ẹ̀kú sí ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn ènìyàn ní wọn máa wà ní ọ̀rọ̀ láti ra láti lò.
Thank you so much. The coalition is presently marching, and they are making towards Joshua. Everyone has been saying head bad government. Some are saying head bad government. Some are saying head bad government. Yeah, good morning, sir. Can we get to meet you? And what's the rationale behind the protest? See, what we need, they just everything people are dying hunger. I beg Tinubu, Lagos State, Nigeria. The people are suffering. The suffering is too much. It's getting out of hand. What is happening in unity? Nigeria. People are suffering in Nigeria. People are suffering. I want you to reach you. If it is your duty, if you are near you, how will you be? How will you be? How will you be? Please help in Nigeria. Help people. Our mother is in everywhere. What in the city? What in the town? Everywhere. People are suffering. What are you going to do? Do something. Do something. What's your name? My name is Joseph. I'm from Nigeria. Thank you so much. That is Joseph from Nasarawa State. I think he's a resident in Lagos here, so he's also here to give his agitation towards the end bad government protest. Yes, we have another stakeholder. Good morning, can we get to meet you?
Okay, please, good Nigerians, they are calling upon you people this moment.
Government is supposed to look at the basic things of life, like food. You don't need to be until you protest. That's when you know you'll be doing the right thing. Right now, hard federal government is trying to sell a bag of rice 50 kg for 40,000. Why did they do this earlier on? So we are okay. You want people to hear us. We are still in the environment. This is the Ganipo Army Park, but that place is not safe for a conducive protest. How do we assure safety of lives there? Okay, you can see from here. This bush is not cleared, and the gates are just locked, just one entrance. So we can't guarantee safety of anybody in there. Anything can go wrong inside that park. Is not safe for any sane person. So Ganipo Army, we are still around here. We are still around, and this tribe, people thought it's not going to hold. This protest is going to hold. So many things are going wrong. We can't continue and look as if nothing is, as in things are going on well. Right now, transportation is at the increase. Transportation is at the increase. Are you okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, thank you very much. Okay, people are scared of going into the Ganipo Army Park as a result that all the gates are locked except just one entrance. And now they are saying that if they can be attacked in a broad day place, why would they not be attacked in a place that is locked up and just one single gate, just where you are for pedestrian alone, that is being open? But let's hear what people have to say about it.
Oh, good morning. Sorry.
Your name, sir?
My name is David.
Okay, so what's your take on the protest so far?
See, this protest I think this Tinubu regime is becoming too hard for us, because Buhari regime is even more better than Tinubu regime. See, we need to do something, because Tinubu, most especially Tinubu, you need to do something, because everything is becoming hard. Flour, sugar, everything, they are becoming hard. So Tinubu, you need to do something for us, please. Salary, save everything. It's not salary that are collecting 80k. Most people say they are not collecting salary. Look at everything. Tinubu just needs to do something for us, please. We need help. What's up now? Everything is becoming hard, please.
Okay, so thank you. So we have another person right standing here, talking about the fact that things are very expensive. Even the administration of Tinubu is way more worse than that of Buhari that left the presidency seat. But let's see what people have to say regarding the protest.
Yeah, good morning.
Your name, sir?
My name is Matthew. The fact remains that the democratic government so far, even when it was PDP, Nigerians were complaining. But as it stands now, if you should ask us to choose between these two parties, in as much as we know that those of them from that PDP that migrated to APC, they are now even worse in this new garment called APC. Initially, they were wearing a garment called PDP. They were a bit better. But the garment they have put on themselves now called APC is the worst one. If I say too much English, they disturb our ear. The thing be said, this government is full of. It's no more a democratic government. This is an autocratic government. It is even much better that we should be in the military regime, so that we will know that it is military that are controlling us. My worst pain is that youth, whom should have come out to fight, we still allow themselves to be used by these same old men to terrorize fellow youths that are fighting for their rights. That is just my pains. If only the youth can wise up. Come on, make wise up now. Okay. Can old man use an old man to fight old people? No. It cannot be done. So the thing is that we youth should learn to not give ourselves to these people to use us. If that should not be done, I am telling you, Nigeria will be good. Just within the twinkle of an eye. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. So please come closer. Okay, looking at the situation, we have other people that are willing to express themselves regarding this process so far. Please come closer, sir.
Okay. My name is Olushola Olusegun.
Okay, and your name, sir?
My name is Samuel Ali.
Okay, so Mr. Olushola, what do you have for us?
Well, okay, my take as regards this protest is very simple. The essence of this protest is for government to be able to do something positively. You know, everybody is here because they are not comfortable with the way they are living. The cost of things are on the high side. So government should focus. Whatever happens to be the basis, the fundamental problem should be resolved. Look at our countries. Our countries are not manufacturing. Most of the billionaires, they go all over, they go abroad, everywhere. They set up companies, and they come back to Nigeria. They lose our money. They still take it back over there. Government is not. They are pretending as if they don't know anything about it. They are aware, they're consciously aware about that. They should start, and they are saying that, okay, they are curtailing the corruptions. Is that not the most enormous corruption on earth? The government should come back and think about it. Those money they realized from Babangida and Abacha, they should use it to set up manufacturing companies so we can start exporting, so things can get better, so job employment can be available, so people who have gone to universities, to school, then when they graduate, they can be able to have job, to be able to have a good sustenance. Educational sector is not okay at all. Their government is saying that they are giving us loan. In Western countries, they give loan to people that are working. Why would you give loan to people that do not have job?
Okay, so
the grants, no, hold on. They should give us grant, not loan. The electricity, they should consider it. If you want people to do business, why would there not be electricity? Many companies live in this country because there's no electricity. Government is not doing anything about it. Even we ourselves that we are doing the local business, there's no electricity to do the business. We are buying diesel. Do you know the cost of diesel? How much are you earning? Government is pretending as if, okay, what they said they are doing is not reflecting. The renew hope they promise they should do it. Something positive should happen.
Okay, so sorry, sir, we have to go because presently we saw some security personnel moving into the Ganifawery axis. We don't know as a result that they've been telling people to move out from the street to move into the park, and people are so scared for their life. But presently now, they just moved in. We don't know what their intentions are stating and looked at us. So we're moving there to see what they have to say. The convergence of the protesters can be seen that as they are moving towards us, it seems as if we are in the middle and the center where there seems to be something else going on, because they're coming in from the left and the right and the reserve. So we see what they're about to do. Stay with us. Let's calm down on this kiddo.
Conscious Nigerian people. He is there to assure us that the people are with us. Please, let us give decorum so that the police commissioner can address each and every one of us. I implore you, thank you very much.
And that's Oyindamola live from the Ganifawery Park. It's been so many scenarios over there. Look at what the lady was holding, the placard.
Yeah.
Let the poor breathe. And right now, it's not even only the poor that needs to breathe.
And it's quite
the rich needs to breathe. The political class, a lot of them need to breathe because it's literally eating up the entire economy.
Well, it's quite fundamental that just like we rightly heard from Oyindamola that only one gate of the park is open.
And the place has
and that's the same place that the courts have said that Nigerians who want to protect legally and peacefully should go to.
Is that more or less like an ambush?
Because one of them actually was talking. He said,
so we have the police chief having some press conference over there. Let us hear from Oyindamola.
What's your reaction to this?
Okay, sir.
All right.
Look into that. I'm not sure such the now.
To what extent are you enforcing the issue of the
Thank you.
Who owns this mic?
That is the CP of Lagos. We can't hear what exactly they're saying over there, but then we're definitely going to go back to Oyindamola, who is our correspondent, the voice of the people, television. Fina, what is your take regarding all of this? It's been roller coaster of emotions from Nigerians, roller coaster of realities, not just emotions, but realities. It's the harsh reality of the current economic climate that Nigeria is. You
know why this is actually, when he said emotions, you can't even take that emotions out from the reality playing out here in Nigeria over the fact that Nigerians are complaining about how things are very difficult, and it's more like the elected political elites are not doing anything about it. You have the likes of the 003 person, the number 3 person in Nigeria making some statements over the fact that he wanted to, but let's have Oyindamola here, our correspondent at Ketu. Let's know what is happening there. Oyindamola,
as they have promised. So we're moving to the park now. I'll be right back to give you more updates.
That was Oyindamola from Ganifawa Park in life in Ketu /Ojota. What do you have to say regarding all of this? It's been roller coaster of emotions. Nigerians, you had Nigerians saying, "Speak up, we can't hear you." The CP, you speaker, we can't hear you. Another person saying behind the scene that, okay, you will hear from television, but then it just tells you Nigerians have gotten to the wall and they are ready to face it. I remember when one of our correspondents, Matthew Gunswada, was actually on field, and a particular protester was saying that if you're silent, you die. If you are alive, you have to speak up. You have to. Then they would rather die while speaking up than die in silence. So, what is your take? So many
stands. I was reading out something before we got to the streets of Lagos to get our first correspondent. Now, under Jonathan, minimum wage was 18,000 naira.
That's right. And
of course, that could afford 150 packs of spaghetti at a price of 120 naira per pack. Now, under this present administration, 70,000 naira minimum wage can only get you 64 packs of spaghetti at a rate of 1,200 naira per pack.
That is if you're buying in carton.
That's if you're buying in carton. Exactly. 64 packs.
So if you go back again to say you want to buy from the retailers,
even the minimum wage is not waging.
Exactly. That's what we're saying. See, it's in context. The purchasing power of Nigerians is depleting by the day. So we have Oyin, who is live at Ganifawa Park.
Okay, so the citizens they are telling the commissioner that he should have to move with us to the park if they want us to move to the park, because they cannot, tell us that we'll be safe with him not being there. They are sure that if he's there with them in the park, then they might actually be safe. So hopefully, he moved with us to the park. He's still out there, and so every other person is staying outside the park as well. That except he moves with us, that we're going to move. So you have to just keep watching us and see if we're going to move to the park. So we are moving presently. He has decided to join us. So let's go to the park.
Government, because the trust of Nigerians have been betrayed over time. Look at all our election cycles.
Yeah.
Keep promises and promises of basic amenities. We've not gotten any of them right. There's so many promises that this administration talked about. None of them have been gotten right.
Now, one of
even the so-called minimum wage signed into law so many governors who are part of the political party are saying that they can't afford it. So you can't blame Nigerians for having this
funny thing is this, David. You know, funny thing
that this present administration promised after the subsidies gone statement.
Yeah.
Not one of the CNG buses have been seen in any part of Nigeria.
Just 2 weeks ago, the president says they have actually given rights for people in some states now to have CNG kits.
Now, to convert to from your fossil fuel to CNG, that's going to cost you about 1,200,000 naira. Where are you going to get that money from? And
from the 70,000 naira minimum wage,
which is being paid to only 33% of Nigerians. Let's not mix it up.
Nobody's talking about the private sector. Nobody's talking about the private sector. Because if you look at what is happening with the private sector, entrepreneurs and founders are talking about the fact that yes, you can increase minimum wage, but can we afford it? And it's a circle. I always say that the economy is a circle. So, for instance, the customer has to buy from the retailer. The retailer is going to buy from the wholesaler, right? The wholesaler gets it from the distributor. The distributor gets it from the manufacturing sector. The
supply chain goes on.
It's a circle. And if anything affects that particular value chain, it will affect the overall. If anything affects the link, it affects the overall value chain. And that's what we're seeing playing out. The purchasing power depleting by the day. No sales for the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is saying that it's not affecting. It's affecting his bottom line, but it's not making profit.
But now,
and then it's affecting the distributor and down to the manufacturer. The manufacturer needs more effects to be able to bring in goods to produce.
Very true.
The raw materials to produce.
Very true.
They can't get access to FX. You see what is happening in the entire value chain.
When you mention,
and so it's a total mess.
When you mentioned the drop in purchasing power, I do remember that the president did say that he's going to reduce the purchasing power of people.
Sorry to cut in there, David. Okay. We're going straight to Onyidamola. A police officer is addressing Nigerians who are protesting at the Ganifawa Enemi Park.
What are the measures that have been put in place already to make sure this remains a peaceful protest to avoid any vandalism?
Yeah, the measure in place is...
Yeah, can we hear some of them, sir?
The measure is that we have all our men all over the place, all parts of the state, and we have a large number of men, and we are here to prevent miscreants whose stock in trade, whose trademark is to cause violence and steal valuable properties of people, protesters and Nigerians. So we will not allow that.
Those are security operatives, are you collaborating with to ensure that
we are collaborating with our security operatives?
It looks like the protest has been peaceful so far.
But you know that Falana told us that the government or politicians are the ones that hijack they're the ones that hashtag end SARS protest. And not just that, also when you actually watch the videos that played out, you saw branded vehicles that belong to the government unleashing thugs on the people who are protesting. We have SUVs, which you know that normally thugs cannot even afford, actually doing what? Coming out with sticks and all that to attack people who are actually, doing the protest. And no one will ask what really happened at Lekki Tollgate. Government said there was no shooting, but yet there was all live cartridges there at Lekki Tollgate during the hashtag End SARS protest. So now, if we actually look at it this way, Nigerian youths are not really, normally we're not hoodlums. Nigerian youths are peaceful people. We have just a voice to lend. But now we look at what is really happening, what is playing out. Whether that it's more like, it's a case of, okay, you can do this in one hand, and in the other hand, there's also a way for us actually to reduce your effectiveness as regards the protest. You're talking about the security. For us not to have what happened during the NSAS repeating itself again. No one actually was doing that initially. Until the cameras at the target were pulled out. Who did it? No one actually knows. Now in Lagos, for example, they say nobody died, but we actually saw a memo that was signed about a mass burial that should be done in Lagos State, which some people have called the governor to talk about why is it that such a memo was signed by him, and then the tag on the memo also have some people who actually died during this NSAS protest. And these are questions that Nigerians are asking. For example, Nigerians are actually out there now to say, we want to go on a protest. These are our demands. These are the things we're talking about. And we have the likes of Akpabio, because he was at NDDC commissioning project yesterday, saying that protesters should go out to protest, whereas they will sit back to eat. Because of 50,000 naira to pay to 10,000 Nigeria.
Okay.
Imagine.
Very insensitive. And I dare say this morning that I don't know who are the, the ones who advises our political allies. At a time like this, Nigeria truly needs allies, political allies that are sensitive enough to the emotions and the plights of the people. Because as it stands, if the third man in the nation, and I'm talking about the Senate President, could make such statements, then he goes to say about his character and love for the people who voted him into office. But then let's move away from that and then bring it back to perspective.
Yeah.
Nigerians, as it stands, are looking at the path of bad governance, not toppling the government.
Exactly.
And that's the reason why this process is ongoing. But the most important part of all of this is, on one hand, the government is saying we are doing and taking measures to making sure that we alleviate the sufferings of the people.
Nigerians.
Of course, we hear some of these things being rolled out, one of which is a student loan. But then again, from the student loan, let me stay there. Just this morning, we saw in the papers that the
VC panels,
as vice chancellor panels, have come out to say that they might be forced to making students pay 80,000 naira for electricity tariff. That's if you are in school, you would have to pay 80,000 naira as electricity bill. Please, what is the loan you're going to get from the federal government going to do to you,
David,
as an individual, a student in the school?
David, this is how
you paying 80,000 naira from it. How are you going to pay back that loan?
This is as Nigerians also have it at their demand, the 15-point agenda that electricity tariff hike should be reversed. I hope you understand that is actually part of what Nigerians are talking about at this point. It should be reversed. Even the House of Rep have said, let it be reversed to what it was initially. Mr. Adelabu hiked the Minister of Power. He came in to say, we need to increase this. Reason is this. Okay, fine, it was for Band A, for them to have 20 hours per supply. You and I, we are Nigeria. We are not foreigners. But those who are in Band A,
if speaking of Band A, are you saying we have some Nigerians that are more Nigerian than other Nigerians?
That's another part to look at it.
It's enshrined in our constitution, equality.
That's another conversation.
I don't know if you get my point. Fairness and equity. So it suggests that some Nigerians deserve better than other Nigerians from the government. And when it comes to taxes, it's an equal playing field.
That's another one to look at.
I don't know if you get my point. But speaking of toppling the government, it looks like what is really happening across from the global community is the reason for such. And now, if you look at what has been happening from the likes of the entire African continent, it looks like it's the African Spring that is about to happen, just like what happened in Asia. And right now, we're seeing that the African Spring is what is happening. From Kenya, from Uganda, and right now it has come into Nigeria. And remember that 1 out of every 4 black men or 4 black individual in the world is a Nigerian. And if Nigerians can successfully have this protest, meaning that it's going to have a positive impact in the entire continent. I think that's where all those thoughts are coming from. Anyways, we have a couple of comments from YouTube.
Our viewers on YouTube.
All right, Michael Fabango, Anako Nwako, Anosike ANAC, Nwanosike, free MKNO now, all right? And I have a daily strength Bible devotion. I bring you blessing from my Lord Jesus Christ.
Sorry, for the benefit of our viewers who don't understand who
MKN is.
That's Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That's what this person is saying, free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now.
Okay, and this other one says, Jesus never votes, so stop this foolishness. How can Jesus give you guys a good government? Religion is truly a curse in West Africa. That's coming from Ambrose Peter King. And we have Okudili Okekaro saying, God help those who help themselves. And that shows it's more like another counter statement to the other one. Okay, and I think I have another one. Okay.
Those ones are actually responding
to the daily strength Bible devotion.
Anyways. Well, the most interesting part of this conversation is the fact that we're looking at, like one of our analysts did say, a point where Nigerians are beginning to be aware. And of course, when he said aware, he means we now know that we need to have good governance. as far as I'm concerned, I honestly would say that what we are looking at presently is a set of Nigerians who are practically tired of the abnormality that happens in government. I love sports. One of the most important parts of the sports in Nigeria, which of course is even the king of them all, which is football, is suffering. Nigeria, as I speak to you, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, which is the biggest brand of football in Africa, I dare say, does not even have a coach. We only heard just yesterday that there is a possibility of signing a coach from Mali in the person of Eric Chell. Now, this is a person who does not even have any major antecedents when it comes to world football and even African football. Does not have any trophy to his cabinet. Now, it goes all around when it comes to the mediocrity that we found in governance. Unfortunately, in this part of the world, they keep telling us, give us time, give us time. I wonder how much time we should give to any sitting government. And again, I dare say, does it take any time to sign billions of naira for a renovation
of the vice
presidential quarters? Does it take enough time to sign into law the offices or marking funds for the offices of the First Lady, which is unconstitutional in the first place? So all of this, when we look at all of the body language,
no, you don't have to stop there, David.
Again, should we give them time?
Break it down more. No, we need to break it down because we're just talking about it the way it is. Do they need time for them to say that the National Assemblies will have 150-something million naira worth of cars allocated to them? Remember the reason for those cars actually is that we have bad roads in Nigeria, which they would not want to fix. Rather, they move over to
an indictment to the president.
We
keep saying you have bad roads and you want to buy bigger cars to ply those roads. What can happen to your ordinary Nigeria?
We need time in
indictment to them.
David, now sure we need time in Nigeria, yes, but all the same, the Senate president or the president of the Senate is telling us that if the federal government come up today to say they need to buy the fleet, they will actually just a nod. That will be approved. We need time in Nigeria, but yet to have a new yacht being bought. Frank, we are talking about time.
Is it a function of Nigerians actually focusing solely on the presidency? Now, we don't pay attention to the National Assembly because the National Assembly, they are closer to the people than even the presidency.
You think?
And right now, you're seeing the autonomy that has been given to the local government, which is the closest unit of government to the people. And do you think that Nigerians only focus on the presidency? Because
no, we don't.
You don't expect the president to come fix the road on your street or the president to come. So it has been broken down. People have their jurisdiction. Different governments and tiers have their own responsibility, and it looks like we only focus on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What are the governors doing?
Frank,
what are the governors? The governors are the chief security officers of the state. The governors are how would I put it? Are the VCs of the state. If I'm to use what is happening in the economy, meaning venture capitalists, they have to bring in investors to your economy, to your state. And 13 out of the 36 states of this federation, none of them could bring in FDI, foreign direct investment. Are you going to blame President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for that?
Now,
are you going to blame President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for what is happening as regards the governors expending more than half of their state budget into frivolity?
Let's put this in perspective. The fact allocation has increased. Right here on Voice of the People TV, we tell every single person that listens and watches us, ask questions from your state governors and your local governors, local government councillors.
But I dare say that we don't have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem.
The reason why a lot of persons believe that we have to stay with the presidency is because the policy comes
from the top.
The policies that we're talking about, first off, do you know that there's a CBN Act that says that the country cannot borrow more than 1 trillion naira every year? Please tell me, how much has Nigeria borrowed in 2024 alone? We've expended over 24 trillion.
That's right.
And our budget's about 30 something trillion.
And the funny thing is that it's backed against our crude. So backed against our crude.
Now you understand.
And that's why you see, that's why we saw the whole issue between Dangote.
Now you understand why everything points to the presidency. That's why you know why everything points to the presidency.
Now, I just did mention of that of the CBN. Let's bring it back to the subsidies done policy. Do you know that as a result of that, as we speak now, because the presidency have not, for once, even rejigged after 1 year, his cabinet, which of course, it means that he's giving them a vote of confidence. On insecurity alone, Nigerians are still in IDP camp for over 5 years. Do you have an idea?
That's right.
Now, in that single phase, if insecurity is not settled, and then there is subsidy as a problem, prices of these commodities that Nigerians consume goes up.
Because farmers don't go to farm anymore.
Farmers don't go to farm. So these policies are what the people are saying, reverse them. For one, the subsidy policy is one that I strongly believe that if reversed,
can help to cut some of
major effect when it comes to the economy in Nigeria.
But now the subsidy is gone. We're talking about here now. Let's tell ourselves. Or let's bring it out for us to understand.
Yeah.
When Nigeria government accepts that we're paying subsidy, Nigeria pays 3.2 trillion naira as subsidy.
In some way, subsidy is still a part of the equation.
In other words,
just to make sure the price is stabilized.
Why lie to Nigeria?
Exactly. In other words, the government is still paying subsidy.
So why are we getting the lies every day that fuel subsidy is gone? Why are we? Because it's a logic for us to look at this way.
And I think that's why you see Nigerians actually going to the streets.
They should tell us the
because
truth.
if you take off subsidy, we should see where the money that we use in paying subsidy is being channeled to.
Exactly.
We should see the fuel subsidy on our roads. We should see it in our healthcare system.
Right.
We should see it in different aspects of the economy, the manufacturing sector. Most of them clamoring for the fact that they can get access to FX.
You also know that some quarters have said that the subsidy is gone statement is actually a ploy for Nigerians to be the ones paying
for the subsidy. Because it's not like we're doing it. We are.
As it stands.
How much is the fuel pump price?
Okay, we understand that Inamola is still with us. All right, so Inamola, let's get to you almost immediately.
Okay, so right now we are here and there are some people that are bringing up a fraction in this protest. Okay, there are people that are on this protest that are actually bringing up a fraction and trying to perpetrate to hijack the protest and turn it into a violent situation. After the CP left, the CP just left about 2 minutes ago. After he walked through the park, he told the Nigerians that the park is safe for everyone to be. Though they've opened the second gate of the park present. So we're seeing people trying to move, and because they're trying to cause a ruckus in the face just to make people feel like, oh, that is going on. So hold on while we move with others going towards the park. Another group has emerged again just to join this protest, and they are obviously not for the protest. So they are trying to make people, separate from those groups. So as when they start the violence, that will not be a reason for them to attack. And as we can see, helicopters are beginning to move hovering over us. They are hovering over us. Just we don't know the reason. The CP just left. He gave us his assurance, but suddenly things seem to have taken a different dimension. And we are right there to give you guys the feedback about the things. A lot of people are claiming that some people have been paid, and that is why they're trying to hijack the process, but we're not so sure about that yet. So we'll just take a little break and we'll be right back with you guys.
Interesting. Now, like you just heard from our correspondent, it's terrible.
Is there any smoke without fire?
It's terrible
because it looks like
less than 120 minutes after the CP left. Some people are infiltrating to disrupt and hijack the protest. So, like you said, there's never a smoke without the fire. All right.
Okay. Let us hear from Oyin.
Okay, so presently we're going to be people. This is we are in. Presently, somebody is willing to talk to us regarding this whole dramatic situation happening regarding the protest. So, good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm very proud. I'm very happy of this protest. We are back on like this because this government, they are not making us proud at all.
Okay, looking at the 30 people that just emerged to join this protest, I think they're for the protest.
Okay, I will see some of them are for the protest and some of them are yet to scatter the protest. And I'm very sure that those ones that are yet to scatter the protest have been sent by some of our some of our leaders, maybe like the Nigeria, especially the Lagos State government, might have sent some of them to come and scatter the protest and make it look like something they will call a whole lock. And they will start calling us a whole lock because of people like this. So I'm very these people are here, and I'm very sure they are sent by some of our government to make this thing look like this. And there are some people who are willing to come out to speak out to protest for the benefit and goodness of the country. And why some here have been sent by some of our so-called leaders to come and scatter everything and make it look like see we the protesters who don't know what they are doing.
Separation of fraction, and we're moving to the other part. Come on, let's go. Hello, sir. Give us
boss. Hello, sir. What is the name of the address on there? You go low. So now the information will be said. So as they hot like this now, you get some stupid thoughtful people who come here where they talk say they go do one thing. Now them we have capture them, now them they across there. So if anything don't stop, that guy will wear red, will wear cap, now him. You understand? And if anything so for a year, if anything so for a year, we don't want to already. If I not do normal, if I not do normal, if I walk on, I go get for. So men are they calm down, men are not gonna do. Make anybody not come contract anybody. With a para, I go. Make anybody not come contract anybody. Anybody will come contract anybody. I'm a jackpot, I'm a dog boy room. No say go come. I know that they talk, are they boy like they para.
Okay, obviously a different fraction has moved, and we are moving into the other side. These particular other people that joined presently has been identified as workers of SECO, and they are obviously not for the protest because they are the same people that actually protested for people not to protest regarding today. And right now they are here. See the helicopters hovering over us. Well, it's getting out and people are
get safe out there. Be very
safe.
careful around there because of these kinds of persons infiltrating the process. Well, Frank, there we have it. I mean, very natural of people, our people, let me use those words. On one part, they're protesting for good governance. On another part, some people who've been induced with some level of funds are saying no reason to protest.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes to say that the political allies have done so much in defiling. Okay, let's go back to Indabola. We understand she's with us as well.
The problem we are facing in this country, me, I don't understand anymore. Look at in the road, mad people plenty, no food, nothing, because of the Tinubu problem. Now I have the work. When I don't even have a good work, self. I used to travel every December. I used to go into the village. I used to make my family to joke. But like this, I'm working. I can't even buy rice. I can't. What I cannot buy breakfast. I'm okay. If you like 100,000 naira salary.
Thank you very much.
But this guy, me, I don't understand, sir.
Okay, no. Okay, sir. Looking at that, we're having some people joining us from the other side. What, sir? Are they for the protest?
They are not for the protest because they collect bribe already. They come here to fight us now.
Presently now, the CP said that everywhere is safe before he left. Are we still under safety?
Do you see anywhere that look like it's safe? no place is safe now. No place is safe here. See crowd, see everywhere. Only bag of rice 87,000. My salary gonna buy bag of rice. I no fit give my wife belle again. Where I wan see money for naming? You know how much for bag of rice? Pampers go don cost. Na condom I dey. Yes, na condom I dey.
Okay, we can notice. If you can see right behind me, you can see another fraction adding up. Obviously different from the fraction of those that are protesting, and they are not here to join the protest. They're literally looking for a way to infiltrate this protest and turn it into a violent one. The people are also waiting for them because they identify them and they're like, they must not join the protest because they have actually advocated that there should not be a protest. Suddenly they came out after the CP left. But we still have people that want to talk to us here.
Nigeria jaga, everything scatter. Tinubu government na the worst. You know good. Bad government. We not go agree. Bad government. We not go agree. Bad government. Democracy government supposed to be government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But this government, minus, not be plus. People are suffering, people are dying. Every now and then, our youths don't become drunkards. You understand? They don't turn to beggars. Good, it does not supposed to be so. You understand? We are suffering. Our young girls now don't turn to harlots. Hook up girls. Now, Nigeria will need Nigeria for Benin Republic to go and hustle. Is that what do we have to tell the generation? We are suffering. Bad government.
Okay, like now, it's like I don't understand. What do they really want? The moment you cannot afford the basic needs, it becomes a problem. Look at a bag of rice. Somebody's salary. You a bag of rice, almost 100 and something thousand. That's somebody's salary. Just a bag of rice for somebody's salary. What do they want us to do? We are hungry. They say Nigeria is the giant African, and the youth are suffering. We are not begging them to pay us allowances every month. That's not what we want. All we want is all the food product, the prices of everything should go down so that an ordinary man can afford that. You understand? We are tired. Look at our guests. Nobody is responsible in the streets again. Our boys are smoking and doing illegal business, which we are not supposed to do that. Selling drugs everywhere. Nobody is happy. You understand? Fraud everywhere. Look at, and we are in our mother's land. There is no happiness. Nothing. There's nothing. We are not getting anything from them. We don't want that. We are not telling them to pay us. We are not telling them to pay us money every month. All we want is good government so that everybody can enjoy. You understand? The food prices should go down so that an ordinary man can afford that. That's what we want. Please, government, please.
Okay, another person is here to give us his own opinion regarding the protest.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. As you can see, we are all outside this afternoon and tonight and tomorrow, because the government is very bad. We are having, let me show you my flyer over here. As you can see, end bad government, that's what it says. End bad government. No job opportunity. Bag of rice 85,000. My salary 35,000. My house rent 152,000 naira. Money for water, money for light, money for dustbin. Bank said they collect charges 35 naira. How much is my money? So government, me I never chop, I can't protest. I don't know for my fellow protesters.
Well, the citizens are really saying that the things are difficult in the country. Okay, so but before we'll take you back to the studio, we'd like to show you and testify the fact that the park is still empty. People are not willing to go into the park because they feel like it's a way at which they're going to cage them. And if they are caged, they can actually be harmed. So they are not going into that park. Rather, they will be on the road because they don't know what the park can actually hold for them. We have a seller that is actually in the process that would like to talk.
Hello. Good morning, Nigerians. This ice cream, this thing was 100 naira last year, but now it's 400 naira. We are suffering. Please help us. We are suffering in this country. What is happening here is not right. We are all human beings. We are not enjoying this country. We are citizens of this country. We are not enjoying. We are crying. How can we be crying for us as a citizen of this country? So they shall have mercy on us. Thank you.
The weather has just changed and it's drizzling already. It looks as if it's going to rain. But either way, stay with us. We'll be right back to give you more updates.
Of Nigerians are not really smiling because they are feeling the heat. You know, Franco say inside is hot, outside is expensive. But as the case may be, from the protesters here,
Where do you stay?
Yeah, because that's what is really happening. If you go outside, before you know, debit or savings or current. And one debit alone comes with 40% inflation.
Okay.
So imagine that, at least 40% inflation. Look at what the man selling ice cream.
Yes.
And I dare say that these people who are in the informal sector are like the backbone of the Nigerian economy.
Yeah, they are.
They're responsible for being the pillars of this economy. It's not the man in the capital market who has
they are being neglected
on the floor of the Nigerian stock exchange.
Yeah.
It's not the man. It's the man on the street, the woman who is in the market selling pepper. These are the people responsible for our economy.
Wow.
And life is becoming unbearable for them. Nigerians are now finding alternatives in preparing their favorite jollof rice. Finding alternative in preparing.
We're not doing cucumber stew.
Becoming innovative.
Cucumber stew and watermelon stew.
So if you have Nigerians getting as far, you know how much a crate of eggs is being sold?
Please don't go there. It's for the rich.
5,500 naira. And so you can't afford chicken. You can't afford meat. You can't afford egg. So what can you afford?
Crayfish.
Crayfish is becoming expensive.
You can afford okra. You know, they told us that you don't call okra.
How on earth do you expect? What else do you expect from Nigerians?
And
how long can they be patient for?
You know, I just uncovered.
We just talked about the 100th day in office of this present administration.
Yeah.
And how long do you expect?
When you're in office.
How long does it take to form a habit? It's 21 days. So a habit of corruption can be formed in 21 days. So habit of good governance, you should be able to see the blueprint in 1 month.
But
in 1 month, we saw the removal of fuel subsidy. We saw a couple of what are they called? Policies brought into the into the playing field, and it's still not reflecting in the entire Nigerian business landscape.
You know,
that's why you see Nigerians coming.
I was also going to ask you, what's your take, particularly about when going to a bank ATM, and as a Nigerian, you cannot withdraw from the ATM because there is no cash. But you can go to the POS subscriber and you get cash. That, of course, is another policy from the CBN.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, how do you think that is going to affect the economy?
So here is it. To be fair on the side of POS operators, we had one of the episodes of the business. I had the president, the former president of, they have an association. I'm forgetting what they call now. They have an association, and he made mention of the fact that yes, it's quite tough for them to get cash sometimes from the ATM, and that the way they get cash is that they have agents. Now those agents are in sync. No, not in the bank. Okay. They have agents across the economy, and those agents are in sync with people in the informal sector, the market woman, the market man, filling stations, and they have a distribution channel where they have access to these guys. Okay, if you sell and you have cash, you're closing for the day, you bring your cash to the POS operator, and they credit you a lot. So that's the ways they go about getting those cash.
In other words, they're selling the naira to, Nigerian naira now is being sold in Nigeria. Because you can't say they will take the money from these people because they are buying the money from them. But now my other question will be, the POS operators will have littered everywhere in Nigeria. Is it part of what the CBN Act says when they actually bring up this issue of the POS, point of sale? Is it not meant for the people who have their own shops or businesses, for people to be able to carry out their transaction without having any glitch?
That's why you're seeing CBN trying to make sure they have a structure.
Why give them a structure? Why not take it back to what it's supposed to be?
They must come register, and the deadline is in September. They must come register their what is it called? Their business.
No, Frank, no.
In conjunction with CAC.
Why should you go to that line of calling them to say, come and register, whereas the plan or initial level of this is it that is the way to empower? Because Nigerians are talking about not having a job, but they have graduates now doing POS operating.
On the other side, we've been talking about financial inclusion.
Yes.
And financial inclusion is trying to see how you can bank the unbanked.
Okay.
We've got a lot of unbanked Nigerians who are in the rural part of Nigeria.
Yeah.
And how can you get these guys to come into the banking sector or to be banked or become part of the banked members of Nigerians?
Okay.
It's by making sure, okay, you give that infrastructure, the banking infrastructure, you give them access, you give access to the banking infrastructure through this POS agent. And that's what they've been trying to do. But then, Nigerians, there are different loopholes. They'll take advantage of any opportunity that they see.
Right.
And that's what you see happening to POS agents, and you see happening to Nigeria in general.
You're talking about the banking sector, and it's like you're making it look like the banks are actually doing us a favor. Frank, let's bring it to this table the way it is. We have charges that Nigerians
unsolicited charges.
I'm happy you used that word. I'm so happy for you to I don't want to go there, but you said it yourself. Now, we have charges that Nigerians are being paid, being charged.
I think you have to hold your thoughts there because we have Matthew. Matthew Guswada. Matthew, you're still very much welcome to the business hour.
Yeah, thank you so much, Frank. So I gave an update earlier that we were marching from the Iteta, and now we are presently at Georgia. So this coalition are saying that they demand an end to hardship, they demand an end to bad governance at the moment, and this is just a Congress meeting. So this Congress meeting, the head of the Congress, is addressing the fellow comrades and the necessary things they need to do. And in terms of security, we have seen lots of security personnel. And also the police commissioner has come to address us earlier, and then of course that will be subsequent in our news bulletin. But at the moment we also have some people discussing behind cameras. Good morning to our journalists. Alright, so we have lots of people at the moment. They are actually clamoring for ending hardship. They want the government to end hardship in the country. Alright, so they want the government to end the current economic hardship in the country so that there will be economic reform in the country. And moving on also, we also had a lot of people coming here. They, like I said earlier, their candidates are much. They have different cardinal demand. They want the government to reduce the fuel as well. Alright, do you mind speaking to us? What's your name? You are here in the protest, so why are you here? Actually, we are just the same cause.
Anybody that are not supporting what people are doing,
Thank you so much. Interesting. We are first citizens before we are journalists, and I think that's where the concept of citizen journalism came from. Yeah, I can hear you, Frank. Please go ahead with your question.
SAS broadcast because we're seeing people sharing. There's a bit of item 7 over there. If an average Nigerian understand the meaning of item 7, so light refreshment. We're seeing cartons of biscuit being shared to protesters. What is your take about that? And how is that being organized? It looks like that is well organized. We don't know where you are live, so I would love us to. I would love you to tell us where you are live and how organized the protest is, because it looks like Nigerians are literally having their item 7 during the protest.
We eat food in them, nourishment is very, very important. So these people are saying that in as much as they have come out to protest, they must also make provisions for people. They must also make provisions for the coalition of civil society, radicalists that has come out to protest. And some are voluntary, while some are just being given freely. For example, when we passed through the Ojota route, we had some traders that were expressing their demand. And so because they saw people that came out in mass to protest, they expressed their demand and they feel that since they can't go with them, what they could do is to give them refreshment. And that was what they did at that point in time. They didn't go with them. They only expressed their demand and they saw the agitation of these citizens that they are doing the right thing because it's contained in the Constitution, right to freedom of expression and the right to freedom of movement. And like I mentioned earlier, there are different cardinal points that this coalition of civil society organizations, radical group, and a socialist group, there are different things that they are saying. They are calling an end to insecurity. They are calling an end to insecurity. They are calling reversal in fuel prices. They are also calling an end so that the government can stop the current economic hardship plaguing the country. Like we heard from one of the activists, he said that the bag of rice at the moment is very, very expensive compared to what it used to be. So he wants the president to look into that. And when I was speaking with one of the organizers, I asked him if this response is going to be civil or is going to be violent. He said that it's going to be a peaceful protest across different geopolitical zones in the country. Okay, we have this placard here. End all attack on democratic rights. That is, there shouldn't be infringement of people's rights. I also asked earlier because they are saying that there are limitations of press freedom. So they are also demanding that the press should be free in the discharge of their duty. They are also demanding that some of the NSAS detainees that have been detained in the year 2020 should be freed according to their demand. Good morning, sir. So can you tell us the reason why you are here at the protest?
There's what's called iPad 100% of the price of all items. Imagine selling a plastic of garri for 5,000. How much of my regulation? How much am I collecting that will make me buy 5,000 naira? Before the end of the number two, if there's scarcity of the government open land border so that people can go out of the country and bring in food at a low discount or tariff so that people will have enough food and drink. The suffering that is all. People cannot bear it anymore. That's why people to show that business over the minimum rate of 70,000 naira. It's not even enough for a average family of 4. So we should appealing to the government. Dangote is not the only businessman in Nigeria. So many other people are going to put business. So we should use their facility or call other people to come into it and open the land border so that people can bring in food for people to eat and okay.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful agitation. He said the government should open the border and then listen to the voices of the people. I want us to also take this man.
Thank you, Matthew. You know, we understand that the people are still protesting, and we also heard from him that some citizens who couldn't even join this protest are giving out, you know, showing concern to protesters by giving them some light refreshment. And Frank.
It's true. It tells us what is really happening, just like what happened during the NSAS. You saw a lot of Nigerians, even the government was started with this whole entire protest started with PTSD because of what happened during the NSAS. But right now we're seeing it's quite peaceful over there when Matthew, our correspondent, was giving us live report. But it looks like it's taking another twist at Ojota coming from Oyindamola and the anti-protest group. Imagine protesting for people not to protest. You see the irony in that? And so it's quite pathetic, especially what the politicians have done to the people. And so an average Nigerian is just trying to air their opinion as to what is happening. You gave us promises as regards this particular administration before you took your oath of office. You gave so many promises, and we've not been able to tick any of those. And if if you have your scorecard and you're to give the KPI of this present administration, what would you score them on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh well, I'm only going to be on the part of the fact that Nigerians have made so much sacrifices over the past administration and even this present one.
Yeah.
And if at this point they feel that those sacrifices are not, being appreciated, and of course the demands that they are asking for is not being raised, then the call for the protest is very legit. But as it stands let's also let our viewers know that over 27 lawyers are on standby to represent demonstrators who would be arrested wrongly, right? And that is what we've also been told. And we also know that as it stands in Rivers, in Abia, in Abuja, and even in Lagos, heavy security everywhere, and the protest is ongoing. Again, we will just put our nose on this one on the ground and see how it progresses with time.
Absolutely. It tells us what is really happening across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Solidarity forever. That is the major statement on the lips of an average Nigerian today, and the entire world is actually looking at us, because it's the entire world is looking at us. It's looking like the African Spring is about to happen. First it started from Kenya, moved to Uganda, and right now, I remember that this is against the backdrop of one Nigerian being one out of four black person is a Nigerian. And so it's also moving to Ghana. So you're seeing what is happening. It's like, is this the African Spring? Africans now waking up from their slumber.
Oh, well, we wait and see in all of that, because as it stands, we only would say here that at Voice of the People, we want to make sure that you out there have a voice. And that's why we're bringing you all of the footages, all of the live coverages, to making sure that you have a total close to the conversation. Yes. And we only can say at this point that we would, like I said earlier, keep our eyes on this and see how it goes.
So if you're going out to protest, make sure you stay safe, and please avoid any form of violence. Please avoid any form of violence. The midday news will be up by 12 noon. And this has been the Business Hour. So far, we've been covering all the issues making the rounds in the world of business and looking at what has been happening regarding the Nigerian economy. So the media news will be coming up, and it's been a great time. And we'll be giving you live updates as to what has been what is happening on the streets. We've got some of our correspondents from K2 down to Ojota to Ikeja, and so you want to stay glued so that you understand what is really happening on the streets of Lagos.
any longer. Nigeria is dead. Nigeria is dead. We must arise this country. This country must arise. This country must arise. And that's the essence of it. We are not here to attack anybody. We are calling the father of the nation and not the father of respective states to arise. We are no longer safeguarded. We are in a troubled time. Serious troubled time. Serious trouble. The father I'm working. If I'm comfortable in my house, what about other children? What about other members of the family? There's no equity in Nigeria. There's nothing like equity. No justice. No fairness. We are treated like animals. Nigeria is now converted to a jungle. We are in a zoo. We are not in a country. And that's why we're making this strong, passionate appeal to all the respective government, from the presidency down to all the states, to all the National Assembly, to all the House of Assembly of HC. They must arise to this task. We can no longer wait. Enough is enough of a process. We all taught English. Thank you very much.
So this is the approved place in Lagos State. So why people are gathered is we are just gathering our momentum. We are law-abiding citizens and we are going to move in there. But the fear of the people is how protected are they in that place? That hope they are not going to cage us in that Ghanaian Freedom Park, because we are seeing some faces around. But there's no fear. There's no fear. We are not afraid of anything. We are here to shed our blood, to shed our tears, to shed our sweat for the emancipation of every average Nigerian. So that's why we are here. Thank you very much.
Okay, looking at the fact that some people are asking that we should give them this administration some time, do you think that time is what we still have at hand as a citizen?
Now that time, you know, out of 4 years, Tinubu has spent 1 year. That's 1/4. And that 1/4 has been filled with lots of hardship, hunger. Now what I see is that if Tinubu is really ready to bring the
ba zai yiwu ba mu muka kai ka wurin da mu yan arewa mun zabe ka arewa amma saboda rainin wayo ka duba abin da ake mana arewa a kashe yan uwan ba tsaro ba abinci ba komai ya lalace ka duba nawa ake sai mai yanzu nawa ke yi in za a gyara mana kawai zai a gyara mana idan ba za a gyara mana ba mu kuma ba za mu fasa ba muna na express yawwa idan za a gyara mana ba ruwan mu mun gama yawwa idan ana so a samu abin da ake so mu mun fito muna zanga mu yan arewa mun daba su aju mun bayi ƙuri'un mu amma ba mu da tsaro ba mu da abinci ba mu da ruwa ilimi ba ilimi ba karatu komai ya lalata.
This is our day. We're gonna calm down.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, so looking at this protest so far, how has it been?
It has been peaceful. It has been joy-giving. Yeah, it has been joy-giving. People are coming out gradually, but we want more people. The old Nigerians, they should come out to any space they can use in the country. They should pull out. Yeah, the whole of Nigeria should pull out.
ba
K2. So this is the approved place in Lagos State. So why people are gathered is that we are just gathering our momentum. We are law-abiding citizens and we are going to move in there. But the fear of the people is how protected are they in that place? That hope they are not going to cage us in that Gani Farm Freedom Park, because we are seeing some faces around. But there's no fear. There's no fear. We are not afraid of anything. We are here to shed our blood, to shed our tears, to shed our sweat for the emancipation of every average Nigerian. So that's why we are here. Thank you very much.
Okay, looking at the fact that some people are asking that we should give this administration some time, do you think that time is what we still have at hand as a citizen?
Now that time, you know, out of 4 years, Tinubu has spent 1 year. That's 1/4. And that 1/4 has been filled with lots of hardship, hunger. Now what I see is that if Tinubu is really ready to bring the
this is our day. We're gonna calm down.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, good morning.
Okay, so looking at this protest so far, how has it been?
It has been peaceful, it has been joy-giving. Yeah, it has been joy-giving. People are coming out gradually, but we want more people. The whole Nigerians, they should come out to any space they can use in the country. They should pull out, yeah. The whole of Nigeria should pull out.
Okay, but they are saying they should move down to the park. What's your take on that?
I totally disagree. We couldn't trust them when we were at open space. They killed people 2020 at NSAS protest. How much more once we are confined? How should we trust our own security system when they could kill people in broad daylight? No, no, no. We are not going there.
Okay, thank you very much.
We should not accept or allow any politician to manipulate our mindset to do what we know is against the law. The government cannot disenfranchise us from attaining our civil rights, but let us be mindful of how we do it, because your motive is different from others. A lot of them are somewhere. They just want the country to be more populated than this, so that they will stop perpetrating evil, and we don't want that. We suffered a lot. The majority of Lagos State property were destroyed, even during the NSAS. Forensic hospital was burnt down. TVC was burnt down. That was why even autopsy, the only autopsy hospital that is in Nigeria is in Lagos State. They burnt down. When Baba died, the very day took his out of United States of America.
Always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever.
Those who learned skills, they said they cannot wait with any longer. Nigeria is dead. Nigeria is dead. We must arise this country. This country must arise. This country must arise. And that's the essence why we are not here to attack anybody. We are calling the father of the nation and not the father of respective states to arise. We are no longer safeguarding. We are in the troubled time. Serious troubled time. Serious trouble. The father walking is comfortable in my house. What about other children? What about other members of the family? There's no equity in Nigeria. There's nothing like equity. No justice, no fairness. We are treated like animals. Nigeria has now converted to a jungle. We are in a zoo. We are not in a country. And that's why we're making this strong, passionate appeal to all the respective government, from the presidency down to all the states, to all the National Assembly, to all the House of Assembly of HC. They must arise to this task. We can no longer wait. Enough is enough of the process. We all taught English. Thank you very much.
Apart from electricity, we should be able to ensure that the education sector is properly addressed. We should be able to ensure that the children that are out of school are brought back to school. Yes. We need to fix the electoral system. We need a mandatory amendment of the Electoral Act to ensure mandatory transmission of security results from the polling units to IRF portal. We need mandatory collation of results from the IRF portal. That's right. As opposed to having vice chancellors going from states all the way to Abuja just to collect results. We need to fix our electoral system. We need to restore manufacturing. We need to boost manufacturing in the country so that Nigeria can become an exporting nation. Less dependent on imports. One more thing. We need to secure the north. We need to secure the north. No Nigeria, no Nigeria. So food security in Nigeria. So we must President Bola Ahmed Tinubu must ensure that the north is secure. They are not here for political reasons. Ensure that farmers are able to go back to the farm to drive down the cost of food. It is important that we fix the economy. It is important that we fix the electoral system. It is important that we fix the educational system. It is important that we change the economy. And finally take our rightful place as the greatest black nation on the surface of the earth. Greatest Nigeria!
abu muke so ka gane shi ne muna jin yunwa gaskiya ne ba ma jin daɗi gaskiya ne daga Sokoto zuwa Kano zuwa Jigawa ko yana shan wahala gaskiya ne gaskiya muna so mu je ma ka jara yawa in ba ka jara ba gaskiya ba za mu ji daɗi da kai ko ma Allah da kansa ma yana ji haushi da kai gaskiya ne mu muna ji ma muna jan haushi gashi ana ta kashe mu ana ta kashe mu ana ta kashe mu banza me muka maka me yasa ba za ka duba ba ka nemo mana abu za ka yi ka nemo mana security gaskiya ne nemo mana yan sanda yan sojoji su kore yan boko haram sai su kashe mu ne sai su kashe mutane ba sa zuwa gona mutane ba sa zuwa gona suna tsoro gaskiya ne ya kama ku in ka je cikin bici za ka gani ana jin yunwa kowa yana yi yunwa ana mutuwan yunwa kana so ka kashe mu ne kana so ka kashe mu ne ai jara ai mana jara mu ba ma so mu muka zabe ka kuma sai kai namu sai kai namu ne kuma abu na ke son gyama in da ba kai namu ba mu kore ka don kwarka mu kore ka mu muna gyama gaskiya ne magana gaskiya ne jin wayo ka duba abin da ake mana arewa a kashe yan uwanmu ba tsaro ba abinci ba komai ya lalace ka duba nawa ake sai mai yanzu nawa ke yi an za a gyara mana kawai zai a gyara mana idan ba za a gyara mana ba mu kuma ba za mu fasa ba muna za a express yawwa idan za a gyara mana ba ruwan mu mun gyama yawwa idan ana so a samu abin da ake so mu mun fito mu yan arewa mun da ba su aju mun bayi kuri'un mu amma ba mu da tsaro ba mu da abinci ba mu da ruwa ilimi ba ilimi ba karatu komai ya lalace ba haka ake ba idan za ka gyara
So this is the approved place in Lagos State. So why people are gathered is that we are just gathering our momentum. We are law-abiding citizens and we are going to move in there. But the fear of the people is how protected are they in that place? They hope they are not going to cage us in that Gani Farm Freedom Park because we are seeing some faces around. But there's no fear. There's no fear. We are not afraid of anything. We are here to shed our blood, to shed our tears, to shed our sweat for the emancipation of every average Nigerian. So that's why we are here. Thank you very much.
Okay, looking at the fact that some people are asking that we should give this administration some time, do you think that time is what we still have at hand as a citizen?
Now that time, you know, out of 4 years, Tinubu has spent 1 year. That's 1/4. And that 1/4 has been filled with lots of hardship, hunger. Now what I see is that if Tinubu is really ready to bring the
this is our day, calm down.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Okay, so looking at this protest so far, how has it been?
It has been peaceful, it has been joy-giving. Yeah, it has been joy-giving. People are coming out gradually, but we want more people. The whole Nigerians, they should come out to any space they can use in the country. They should pull out, yeah. The whole of Nigeria should pull out.
Okay, but they are saying they should move down to the park. What's your take on that?
I totally disagree. We couldn't trust them when we're at open space. They killed people 2020 at NSAS protest. How much more once we are confined? How should we trust our own security system when they could kill people in broad daylight? No. We are not going there.
Okay, thank you very much.
We should not accept or allow any politician to manipulate our mindset to do what we know is against the law. The government cannot disenfranchise us from attaining our civil rights, but let us be mindful of how we do it, because your motive is different from others. A lot of them are somewhere, they just want the country to be more populated than this, so that they will start perpetrating evil, and we don't want that. We suffered a lot. The majority of Lagos State property were destroyed, even during the NSAS. Forensic hospital was burnt down. TVC was burnt down. That was why even autopsy, the only autopsy hospital that is in Nigeria is in Lagos State. They burnt down. When Obama died, the very day took his autopsy. United States of America.
Always fight for our
All right, welcome back to VOP Television. We're still covering the protest happening around Nigeria. That is the hashtag End Bad Governance protest. Well, they've had reports coming in. My colleagues were here earlier, Frank, David, and Fina, talking about events happening around the nation. There are different events. We just learned that somewhere in Borno State, there's been an explosion. A number of people have been killed. Certain people were shot as well. People are being shot at in Borno. In Kano State, we're hearing that looting has started going on. Some are saying those are political thugs looting beds, mattresses, I beg your pardon, looting mattresses and doors and window panes. And one start to wonder, are those the things that will take care of the hunger? Well, that particular, that one was tweeted or retweeted by Bayo Ononuga. Well, we have our correspondents on the street as well, covering the protest in Lagos, Ojota area, and some of the parts of Lagos. And they will be calling in. We have Oyindamola Olukuto reporting from Ojota area. Well, we learned earlier that some of the protesters refused to step into the Gani Fawehimi Park. Oh, well, let's go to the streets of Lagos now, Ojota precisely, where Oyindamola is standing by to give us an update of events happening around there. Oyindamola, over to you.
Okay, are you hearing me now? Okay, so we're right here at the Freedom Park, and you can rightly see behind me that the park is way empty. No, everyone has decided not to go into the park because of safety. But we have people right here outside that are willing to, share what they have been experiencing over this process before now. Good day, ma. Okay, good day. How are you, dear? Okay, what's your name, ma? My name is Mrs. Babatunde. Okay, looking at the process so far, what's your take on it? Well, it's encouraging. The numbers are encouraging. It really shows that Nigerians want this country to work. So the numbers are encouraging. But what we will not agree to is for us to go inside this MKO Abiola garden for the safety of everyone. So we have to stay out here. Okay, so what's your take over the protest? Looking at the fact that the clerics are saying we should pray and, be patient for this administration. We are no longer praying. Like I have said, pastors, sheikhs, traditionalists, and the likes, please stop telling us to pray. We are no longer praying. We want to protest. I am almost 40 now, and since I was born up to this moment, we have been praying. There is no change. So we have to start raising our voice audibly for the government to hear. Don't tell people to pray. Don't divide us with religion. Don't divide us with tribe. I am a Nigerian before I am a Yoruba. I am a Nigerian before I am an Igbo. I am a Nigerian before I am an Hausa. Don't tell me to pray, and don't tell me that Yoruba ni wa, ẹ má jẹ́ àdàlẹ̀ ara wa, ẹ má dàlẹ̀ ara wa báyìí. And ìkọta fẹ́ ni wípé kí wọ́n fún wa ní good governance. We want good governance in this Nigeria. Enough of this problem. It is now psychologically affecting every Nigerian. Every Nigerian is angry. Look at majority of us here. We are youths. We are youths. Imagine now, a spaghetti is now 1,000 naira in the space of 12 months. So we need good governance. We need food. We need security. We need rights to protest. We want our rights to be protected. We cannot have these senators and this House of Assembly and the president siphoning millions and telling us that our own youth should go and be dying in Sambisa forest. The 70,000 naira that they are giving the civil servants is not sufficient for anything. It cannot buy a bag of rice. So who are we deceiving? Okay, we have a minor here that would like to, tell us his own take regarding the whole protesting.
My name is Eni Timothy. I'm here for the protest. Now, I'm about to 20. I want to write my work. It's because of money I've not written my work. Tinubu, why are you doing us like this? Tinubu, we don't chop bread tire. I don't chop bread tire. Even though I don't feel sick again, I swear. Bread every day and night. My papa always talk. Don't say money no dey to chop chicken. Tinubu, I saw Lego Vegbo. You have to shout. I'm a pariwo down. Pastor in everywhere we are doing this one. I don't do this one. Tinubu, you have to send all this to me before I verse. I'm a content creator. Everybody know me online. I'm versing Tinubu. Change all this thing, Tinubu. You're picking the abroad, though. We are here in Nigeria, we are suffering. You are there eating chicken. That chicken will grow on your head, I swear. Thank you.
Okay, we have another person here that would like to shed more light regarding the protest.
My name is Abdul Tosin. So we are telling the president, I beg, solve this problem. We are tired. We are not fighting. We are hungry. So just tell them we are hungry. So we don't come to fight. We just don't come to protest, peacefully protest. So we are hungry. See people now. We know big man is helping big man. And poor man is not helping poor man. All of them is fighting each other. We beg them for the bad government that we have. Please help the Nigerians. The youth has not. The youth is not. They are not friendly now. The country is not friendly. Please, we beg them. Change something. Let everything come to the normal price. We are begging them. Thank you.
Hoping that the government will hear the pleas of the citizens regarding this protest, hoping that they can actually do better for us, the citizens, and make Nigeria a better place. And there is an insistence that this protest is going to progress even after today. It's 10 days, and everyone here is standing in solidarity that they're not going to give up, they're going to protest. But before we take it back to the studio, let's have it.
We are not giving up. The government has given us the benefit to doubt them, and we've taken out of the streets, and we are telling the government that we are not giving up. We are hungry. The hunger is in the land. People are the healthcare system is a shambles. Education system is rising. Go to schools there every day. Go to higher institution. Their tuition fee are going up. The government are not saying it because of the allied, because of the capital system. The Nigerian system is tending towards. The Nigerian system needs to understand that education is not a privilege. It is our right. Look at the fuel pump price. It's going up. Just last week, everything was going up from 650 to 850, 950. Different petrol stations. They are increasing their fuel. The government need to come back. They need to the subsidy they say is gone. They must reverse it.
I think the summary of it is that the basic services that people need to live meaningfully the access to those services have been further denied the people. He has mentioned education, talk of health care, talk of every power, electricity, because we have seen hike in the price of electricity, we have seen hike in the cost of education, especially in tertiary institutions over the past years, whereas the government is promising a scheme, or they are implementing a scheme which cannot further help in ensuring access to education. For instance, healthcare, we have a situation where you go to public hospitals and people are referred to other hospitals because there are no beds, and then people die ridiculously. It is all of these that has aggravated into the hunger and frustration in the society, and most importantly, we have an inflation rate of about 30% now, the highest in history, which has led to hunger in Nigeria, terrible hunger. The cost of food, you see Gari rising from about 200 naira to about 1,000 naira, so that it has become less affordable for the average Nigerian, and people are really hungry now, and that is why you are seeing people on the street. Thank you very much.
Okay, just the last person before we go back to the studio.
Can I speak any language?
Any language, sir.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o, àwa bíbá ilé ní láti wá fi ẹ̀dùnnú wa hàn. Ìjọba ta ní pé àròbígbà máa rí hope lọ́dọ̀ wọn, wà á rí hope nítorí kí ni ìjọba ò ṣe nǹkan tó yẹ kán ṣe. Tíjọba bá dẹ̀ ṣe nǹkan tó yẹ kán ṣe ni inú ò ní máa bí àwọn aráàlú. Nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ kí gbogbo ẹ̀ máa lójúpọ̀ ni pé ìjọba tó rò bóun gbọ́n tó pe rẹ̀ Mr. Wise or Mr. Clever kò tí think right, and àwọn tó kójọ tó pè ní adviser yẹn, they are not yet his adviser. They are his what? They are the people that will mislead him. That's what happens to the last government. He doesn't have the good advisors. That's why he could not deliver. And likewise him too. And he has to. Secondly, the people that voted for him, he has not yet compensated them. And the light, zero. Health, zero.
security zero. Farmer has been driven away from the farm. When the farmer is out of the farm, is there a job for the farmer in the city? So definitely, when the farmer has been chased out of his territory, then where is the production? We are not producing, we are only consuming. Then why the economy could not shamble? Why the economy could not go out of hand?
Thank you, sir. Okay, so we are seeing movements of police officers moving to the midst of those that are protesting. You can see right behind me, there's sudden movements of the police officers moving in. So we're going to see what they have to do or what they want to do.
Well, there you have it. Nigerians venting, of course, venting. Nigerians of all ages, bearing their minds there. The young man who says he was supposed to get into school, but obviously his parents could not afford school fees. A lot of people have talked about hunger. A lot of people have talked about lack of adequate health care. And, Nigerians are really seem to be upset with the government. Someone did say that this is a government that they thought would give them hope, but it's obvious to them that they are not seeing the hope. Well, the government rode on the mantra of renewed hope, and that hope is what a lot of young Nigerians are waiting to see. And, we cannot look away from the distrust that seems to be playing out there. Because the police are there saying that they are there to protect the protesters, but the protesters don't seem to align with them. And, the Gani Fafawahimi Park is a place where protesters were supposed to gather. But of course, you can see protesters refusing to step into the park to hold their protest, but rather they are on the streets. And that just spells of distrust. That speaks to the fact that they feel that if they step into that park, they'll be rounded up and it will be easy for them to be arrested or dealt with, and it might be difficult to run away if the need arose. Quite an unfortunate one, and we'll ask our correspondent, Oludamola, to stay safe as she continues the coverage. Well, she did say right before coming back to the studio that policemen were coming into the midst of the protesters, maybe to address them. But we'll be going back to Oyindamola in a short while to hear what the policemen have to say, if it's an address or, just find out what they have to say. So we're keeping our eyes on this one. We also have our correspondent, Matthew Oguswada, on the streets of Lagos. Now, let's go to Matthew now. Matthew.
Yes, thank you so much, Moses. This is the voice of the people TV. We are still here at Jota. We earlier began the possession from Ikeja under bridge, and now we are at Jota, where I mentioned that the coalition of civil society organization, radicalists and socialist groups, they are here to protest against the government. And they tag this protest end bad governance protest, so that the government will use this opportunity to look into the current economic hardship plaguing the country. They had earlier advocated that it's one of their rights as citizens of Nigeria to protest. And one of the rights is the freedom of expression, freedom of movement, which they have demonstrated today. And another thing is the freedom of association. They noted that they have given proper notice to the government prior to this time. But I have another activist with me that wants to speak to us about the situation. Good afternoon. Yeah, can you tell us the motive behind this protest? Hunger. There's no motive, just hunger. Nigerians are hungry. Either Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Delta, there's no motive. If you are hungry, whoever is hungry to come and protest. They are not hungry. The country is doing well for you, which I know 95% of Nigerians are debt poverty. Thank you so much. I know that when this possession started, we had fewer protesters, but now we have larger protesters. Can you tell us the reason behind this?
No, people were scared. People were scared of what happened during the SARS. So people don't want that to repeat itself. So people stay back with them. I think they went on like this year. They come out with us. I can see this.
Thank you so much. And earlier I saw that it was about to rain. And despite this, I still see people coming out in mass protest. Despite the fact that it wanted to rain, people still came out in mass protest. Can you tell us the rationale?
We needed the rain to ease the temper because people are angry. People are frustrated. People are angry. There is pain in the law. There is anger. You can smell it in the air. It's just we pray that police will not kill anyone. The end is not over there.
Thank you so much. Before I let you go, okay, let me speak to you. I have also, before I let you go, what's the final word for the viewers and the government?
Yes, for the viewers, they're not here to join us. For the government, you have to listen to them because we make we still there. No, I don't put on
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love the fact that he admitted that he didn't vote for Tinubu, but now he has admitted that Tinubu is the government, that is the president, and he has to look into this economic hardship in the country. Okay.
I would like to know if I'd like to know how the protesters got to the venue, because earlier today we heard we had fewer vehicles on the roads. How did they get to the venue? Did they walk? And if they did walk, in how many numbers did they walk, as a group or single individuals?
Yeah, thank you so much, Moses. When they started in Ikeja under bridge, they were very, very few. In fact, from what I noticed, what I witnessed, they were like just 100.
If you can hear me, I will need you to unmute yourself so I can hear you.
You said?
As you
can you hear me?
The answer to the question asked.
What did you say?
Okay, I think unfortunately Matthew cannot
can you
hear me at this time. Oh well, we'll take a little break now. When we come back, we'll be taking you through the news. All right. Now, checking out the headlines of the news, Adeyanju tells FCT-CP not to allow the hunger protest to degenerate. Heavy security as protesters hit streets in Abuja, Rivers and Lagos. Aisha Yesufu calls for Senate President Godswill Akpabio's impeachment. OTI retires BCA, that's Broadcasting Corporation of Abia State DG, appoints Wabani. In business, Senate passes bill to double ways and means borrowing limit to 10% of FG revenue. And now to the details. Well, as today marks the beginning of the 10 days nationwide hunger protest in Nigeria, one of the solicitors to the protesters, Deji Adeyanju, has advised the Federal Capital Territory Police Commissioner, Bennett Igwe, against allowing the protests to degenerate into violence. His advice follows the CP's insistence that the protesters must go inside the stadium. Addressing journalists, Adeyanju said the police should allow the protesters to continue their peaceful demonstration. He says, we have been intervening to ensure the protest remains peaceful, but if they don't appreciate our interventions and want the protest to degenerate, then so be it. Now, this is not the first time the police will attack us. We are used to it, he said. Meanwhile, some of the protesters have said the protest will continue unless President Bola Tinubu meets their demands. They called on the president to do the needful, and the protest will be immediately called off. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the director of mobilization, Take It Back movement, Damilare Adenola, lamented that the oppression under the president's leadership had lasted too long. He said the various court orders restricting protesters to particular locations are an aberration. Meanwhile, a heavy security presence is reported across major cities in Nigeria as protesters gathered today, August 1st, in Abuja, Kaduna, Lagos, and Rivers states. The protesters, motivated by hunger and hardship, carried placards with messages like #End Bad Governance, Enough is Enough, and End Hunger. They demand a reduction in food inflation, which was 40.87% in June 2024, and a reversal of electricity tariff hike. The Jadiyanju, an activist lawyer, confirmed the protests have been peaceful so far. Samson Itodo, executive director of YIAGA, highlighted that the demands align with the struggles of Nigerians, emphasizing widespread hunger and economic hardship. In contrast, major southeastern states like Imo, Ebonyi, and Abia saw no protest at designated venues. According to reports, observations from newsmen noted low vehicle movement across major states. The Nigeria Employers Consultative Association urged for peaceful protest, recalling the #EndSARS protest of October 2020, which started peacefully but ended with significant property destruction. Well, sadly, food prices have surged across major markets in Nigeria as citizens rush to stock up ahead of the nationwide #End Bad Governance protest. Reports gathered. The federal government's attempt to halt the protest have failed, with organizers demanding a reduction in the soaring cost of living and a reversal of policies like the removal of the petrol subsidy, which, alongside security issues, has led to increased transportation costs and food inflation. But top government officials, including Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, have urged Nigerians to avoid the protest, citing concerns about potential violence and criminal hijacking. Despite these appeals, many Nigerians have continued to prepare for possible disruptions by purchasing large quantities of food, further driving up prices. Meanwhile, the Amuwo-Odofin local government area in Lagos State has warned residents against participating in the planned nationwide protest within the council area. Council Chairman, Mr. Valentine Buraimo, emphasized that the protest, scheduled from August 1st to 10th, should only occur at the designated locations, which is the Gani Fawehimi Freedom Park in Ojota and the Peace Park in Ketu. Buraimo highlighted that any protest within the Amuwo-Odofin local government area would violate a court judgment and urged residents to respect the law and maintain peace. He assured residents of his continued efforts to ensure their well-being and safety. Well, you're still watching the news on Voice of the People TV. More stories after this break. While still on the protest, human rights lawyer Inebehi Efyong has announced that a team of 28 lawyers in Rivers State is on standby to offer legal assistance to anyone arrested or prosecuted during the #End Bad Governance protest. Now, this 10-day nationwide protest, which of course began today, aims to address issues such as hardship, worsening poverty, and poor governance. Well, Efyong shared this on his X account, that the legal team, which spans different parts of Lagos State, has just concluded a meeting and is prepared to represent arrested protesters. He invited individuals to tag him or send a direct message to bring cases to their attention, and encouraged other lawyers interested in joining the efforts to reach out via direct message. Well, we'll be going back to our correspondent, Matthew Oguswada, as here that he has a legal practitioner standing by with him to contribute his own quota to the clamor for the call for good governance in Nigeria. Matthew, over to you.
I can hear you. Thank you so much, Moses, and we are still here. The VOPTV crew is still here at Jota, covering the end bad governance protest. Like I mentioned earlier, this group of civil society organizations, radicalists and socialist groups, they have concerned demands, one of which is end bad governance. They think this end bad governance. The previous one was end hunger, but this one is end bad governance. And they are asking for a reversal in fuel prices, food inflation. They also ask for the government to look into the issue of security in the country, study grants, not loans, and other different demands that they have. But I have with me a lawyer here that is part of the activists for this great protest. Can we get to meet you, sir?
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Joseph Amadi. I'm a legal practitioner. I'm also the conveyor of Citizens Action and Accountable Leadership Initiative.
Thank you so much. Before I ask what your initiative do, I know that you are one of the activists for this protest. So can you tell us the rationale behind this protest?
Well, I am a patriotic Nigerian. I am a Nigerian who believes that this